Hello everyone and welcome to this 15-minute first time workout. Now if you've been thinking of going to the gym, getting into exercise, getting fit, that's fantastic, but it can be a bit overwhelming and a bit intimidating the first time you go into a gym. So I've put this together just to give you a bit of an understanding and a bit of confidence so you can either go into the gym or start your workouts, doing my ones as well, increasing that tempo, but this is just gonna teach you how to work, okay? We're gonna be doing 5 different exercises today. We're gonna do each one 3 times so that you're confident on what we're doing. We're gonna be working on 40 seconds of exercise and then 20 seconds of rest each time. I'm gonna start my timer and we'll get going. Now, our first one we're gonna be doing is called a squat. Now, your feet are shoulder width apart. Keep your feet nice and flat on the floor, don't come up onto your toes. What I want you to do is we're going to drop down, pushing the knees out, keep the chest up nice and high, push through the heels as you come back up. Get yourself ready. Away we go. So we come down, push the knees out, come up, zip up, squeeze your glutes. Keeping the chest up nice and high. Now I'm going to do this first round facing you guys. So you can just see the knee position, where the knees are, where the chest is up nice and high, and the weight is through those heels. Coming up, pushing the knees out, and you just slow and steady. Now obviously as you get more confident with this one, you can start adding a weight. You can hold a weight here, you can hold a barbell on your shoulders. There are so many different things. Okay, and rest. So we're going to do that twice more. Have a think about positions, okay? Now I'm going to change, I'm going to face, actually I'm probably going to face this way. So you can see that your back position, you don't want to fold your back as you go down, and it's learning to bend from the knees and the hips. Keep your core nice and tight. Off we go. So chest is up, come up. So you see how I'm keeping my chest up as much as I can. I'm not folding to get down nice and low. So you keep your core nice and tight, keep your abs, chest is up. And you just kind of give your glutes a bit of a squeeze as you come up here. We don't want to be arching our back at the top. It's called zipping up. I always talk about zipping up. We're going to go into a hip hinge, teaching you how to hip hinge, which is really important, by the way. It's a fundamental movement. Understanding that and rest will go a long way, okay? So we're going to go one more time with this one. I'll come back to facing you guys for the next one. So, again, remember, feet shoulder width apart. The knees are going to be pushing out slightly, okay? We don't want the knees coming in, pushing the knees out, chest up, let's go. Down, up. Keeping the chest up nice and high, squeezing the glutes. Up. Listen, if you're watching this, you've done more than what anyone else can or is willing to do, which is fantastic. The hardest thing is getting yourself started. You know, if you're young and you've never been to a gym before, this is a really good way just to kind of give you that little bit of confidence to be able to go into a gym or do one of my workouts and understand that, be confident that what you're doing is correct. Okay, and rest. So that was our squats. Next up, we're going to go down to the floor. We're going to do push-ups. So, great upper body exercise. People, you've been probably doing them in school and things, but trust me, there is a really good technique to this one, which we're going to go through now. I'm going to start on my knees. What I want you to do is you're going to come down, squeeze your shoulder blades together, bring your hips with you. As you come back up, drive your elbows in. So your elbows aren't going out too wide. It's a 45-degree angle. I'm squeezing my shoulder blades back together as I go down. As I come back up, I press the floor as hard as I can. My chest is coming down to the floor. My hips are coming with me. I see a lot of people kind of leave their hips up at the top. We want to try and bring them down, squeeze the shoulder blades together and come back up. Squeeze, leaning over the hands. So you take your body over your hands and rest. So we think about hand position being here rather than up by the ears. You lean over the hands, you take those hips with you. On the knees is a great way to start. Think about your core, okay? Think about this part here, engaging your abs and just tensing up a little bit. Are we ready? Round 2. Now, the lower part of the body. My feet, you'll notice I haven't crossed my feet over. We don't want to get you into that external rotation through the hips. What we want to try and do is we want to try and get you used to having your feet on the floor. I'll explain why in the 3rd round, but it's a really good tip just to think about keeping them toes ready. We're squeezing the shoulder blades together. Our head position, we're not bowing our head. This is terrible. This is not really getting yourself down. You want to keep your chin up, squeeze the shoulder blades together and get that chest down to the floor and rest. So the 3rd and final, we're going to have a go at going up onto the toes if you're ready. If not, no problem. The key thing on this is technique. So if you come up onto your toes, that's all well and good. But if you're only going halfway down and poking your head down, it's no good. Stick to the knees until you're strong enough. So, as you can see, this was my kneeling position. I was coming down here, coming up. Watch. Very little difference there. Chest comes down, squeezing the shoulder blades together. You drive elbows at a 45-degree angle, squeezing the shoulder blades together and drive back up. Tough exercise to do. Keep the core nice and tight. You breathe. Sounds ridiculous to think about breathing, but trust me, really important. Okay, well done. It's good. Heart rate should be up a little bit now, okay? You feel that toughness. So we're going to go into some lunges next. We're going to do a forward lunge. So the 1st round, I'm going to show you facing forwards, keeping the chest up nice and high. Drop the knee down and push yourself back up again. Off we go. We're going to alternate the legs. So that's a nice big step down to the ground and push yourself back up. Now, try and think of this as soon as that foot lands, you drop yourself downwards and then you push yourself back up. The back leg should stay nice and still. Back leg shouldn't be moving. Chest is up. Now the knee position, you'll see my knee. I want to try and make sure that knee is outward. Try not to let that knee drop in. You push off the heel as you come back up, down, pushing off the whole of the foot. You'll notice you probably want to come up onto your toes and drive up, rest. I'm going to face this way. So you can get an idea of, you can see where my knee is sitting underneath the hips on the back leg. So again, chest is up, couple of breaths, keep your head up nice and high, and we drop down, see that position? And then I push back up again, down, chest is up nice and high, and it's that big power through the legs to drive yourself back up again. Down. These exercises, they're like the fundamentals of exercise, of workouts. This is, you're getting the foundations from this, okay? You're understanding the fundamentals of exercise. Everything else, there are obviously other things, pull-ups, barbell, shoulder press. There are so many different other things, and rest. But with these exercises here, you can build a strong foundation and understand, and then you can learn to progress the exercises and make them a bit more advanced, a bit more challenging. But get these ones right. Take your time with it. I think I'm going to face this way again. Chest is up, head tall, drop down and up. Let's increase that tempo a little bit. Down. You keep your abs engaged through this as well. You don't want to arch your back. You keep it up. Nice neutral spine position, as they say. So if you think about how your spine is naturally when you're walking, that's how you want to kind of think about your position when you're doing this one. Whoopsie daisy. Chest is up. Okay, well done. So now we're going to do the hip hinge. So the hip hinge, body weight isn't necessarily exercise, it's just understanding where you're bending from when you're doing certain exercises. You'll hear this a lot throughout your fitness journey. So you're going to drive your hips backwards, keeping your spine nice and neutral. We were talking about that just now. And then come up and you zip up. So we talk about you zip your pelvis down, which means you push your hips back, coming down. And then as you come up, zip up, squeeze them glutes, zip down, push the hips back, head forward, spine nice and neutral, and come back up again. Now a lot of people, they'll kind of do this. If you're feeling like you're folding from your back, think about engaging your abs, keep your head nice and still, pushing the hips back, and you're tilting that pelvis down and up again. So we're going to go 2 more times on that, and this is just about practice now. We're going to practice. If you can understand a hip hinge, your progression is so much faster. Trust me. Right, round number 2. Maybe I'll face forwards this one, so you can see hip hinge. Keep those knees out, zip up. Now, if you think about your shins, try not to let your shins come forward, okay? We don't want them leaning forward, so you're pushing your hips back, nice and neutral position through here, and then you come up. So you should, depending on your hamstring mobility, back to your legs here. If you're quite mobile, you might struggle to feel the stretch, but for me, I can really feel a stretch on my hamstrings, the backs of my legs, as I get to the bottom and zip up and rest. So there's a lot of things to think about, but if you can just understand pelvic tilt, down, up, zip down, zip up. That's the key, that's the key. So, get yourself set. Last round of these ones. Pushing down, and up you come, up, squeezing them glutes, down. So the movement I'm doing at the moment is kind of like a deadlift position. So we have a deadlift exercise, great exercise, but it takes a lot to teach. There's a lot of understanding using your lats, which are here, down, zip up, pushing. But this is a great, what they call a posterior chain workout, which is kind of the backs of your legs, your butt, your lower back. Works really hard when you're doing this one. Okay, well done. So our final exercise we're going to do is we're going to do what's called a plank, okay? Plank is a great way to understand working your core. So that pelvic tilt we were talking about, that comes into this as well. We're just going to do a kneeling one to begin with, okay? So same idea when we were doing those push-ups. You're going to come onto your elbows and you just hold a position. Now, I want you to go through a little bit of a checklist, okay? So, are your elbows just underneath your shoulders? Your hands are separated. Your head position is nice and neutral. We're not bowing our head down. Your shoulders, they're pulled away from the ears, so they're down here, so your head is nice and tall. Now, your lower back, you want to make sure your lower back isn't arched. Now that is sore in your lower back, so you want to come up, that zipping up we were talking about, holding this position. Core is nice and tight, and you focus on your breathing. We're going to do 2 more. Second round is going to be on the knees again. Same idea, remember? Keep your toes on the ground. We don't cross the feet over. This is all about working here. It will work your shoulders a little bit as well, so there's nothing wrong with that. So, same thing. You're over your elbows. Head position is strong. Focus on your breathing. Shoulders are away from the ears. Your back isn't arched. Tummy's nice and tight. Feet are flat. And you focus on that breathing. Nice deep breaths. Really good to understand how to strengthen your core. Keep your pelvis nice and still, holding strong. Last couple of seconds. Well done. So we have 1 more round to go. Last round on this one, we're going to try it on our toes. So you're going to go into the same position. And you can see how easy it is to change from your knees to your toes and back again if you need to. So we're gonna hold. 40 seconds is gonna be tough, but we're gonna have a go. Head position is strong. Now watch, we come up. That's all it is. That's the change. Nothing else changes. Look, hands are still separated. I'm over my elbows. Head position is strong. Shoulders are away from my ears. I'm still not looking down. Core is tight, back isn't arched. We come up. If you can squeeze your glutes, you know you're in the right position. Legs are now strong. And we're holding. We're breathing. Keep your breathing pattern. And rest. Well done. Okay, great. Guys, so this is a really good foundation to understand these movement patterns, and they can progress you so much further. So again, if it is your first time, I recommend you do this one maybe 3 or 4 times, get your confidence up, and then you can try out either one of my other workouts, or you can try going into a gym and work it out yourself. So thanks very much for joining me, guys. Have a great day.